this guitar lesson, you'll learn how to play the traditional bluegrass song called Cold Frosty Morning. In the first section of the lesson, I'll show you how to play a lower pitched arrangement for the song. It sounds something like this. And after we learn that lower pitched arrangement, then I'll show you how to play a higher pitched arrangement that kind of travels up the neck of the guitar a little bit. So the higher pitched arrangement, here's a quick little sample. And by the way, if you like the sound of my guitar in this lesson, right now I'm using these strings made by a company called Woodtone. And the strings that I have on are actually designed for playing bluegrass music. I'll have a link to these strings below this lesson if you want to go check them out. But really like the sound of these strings. I think they've got an awesome tone and they've got a really nice balance to them, really nice and easy to play. So check them out if you're interested, Woodtone strings. But anyways, let's go ahead and start learning how to play Cold Frosty Morning. Pull up the guitar tablature on the screen for that lower pitched arrangement, and we're going to break this down one line at a time. So here's the first line of the tablature. Let me go ahead and play through this for you, and then I'll break it down. Here we go. So you'll notice there that with my fretting hand, for this entire first line, I'm only using my middle finger and my ring finger. Just those two fingers mixed in with some open strings. So that very first measure, we've got 4 down strokes, 4 down picks. Open, 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 ring. And then the second measure, pretty basic there in that second measure. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Not too bad so far. Pause if you want to work on that, but then let's add on measure 3 here. Measure 3 is pretty straightforward also. We got 4 down picks in measure 3. Not bad. And then measure 4, we got just working up that scale there. Ring, open, middle, ring. So all together, this entire line measures 1 through 4. Nice and slow. Let's play it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and pause the video if you want to work on that a little bit and memorize it. When you're ready, we're going to move on to the next line. We got measures 5 through 8. Measures 5 through 8 sounds like this. Let's break this down. Measure 5, we got 4 down picks. You should already recognize this part in measure 5. We played that already. Then in measure 6, you should recognize that as well. We've actually played that already in the first line. So we already know measures 5 and 6 basically. But then we get to measures 7 and 8. And you'll see there in the tablature that we've got a little line that goes over those two measures with a 1 right above. And that means that measure 7 and 8, that is the first alternate ending. So that's the first option for ending the A part melody. You'll see here in 1 second how this works, but let's just learn measures 7 and 8 right here. Measures 7 and 8 sounds like this. It's actually not too bad at all. Measure 7, it's all eighth notes, and again, I'm using my middle and ring fingers here, my fretting hand. Measure 7. Pause if you want to work on that. And then just measure 8, you got the pick, strum. Measure 8, you're holding down that A minor chord, pick, strum, pick, strum. So right at the very end of this line, the end of measure 8 there, we've got a repeat sign, that double bar with the little 2 dots there. That means we're going to repeat back to the beginning of the A part melody. So let's go ahead and pull up the very first line. You'll see there that we got the beginning repeat sign right at the beginning of that first measure. So we're just going to play basically everything we played up to this point, and then when we get to that first optional ending, that little line with the 1, we're not going to play that the second time through, and we're going to skip to the second alternate ending. You'll see in 1 second how that works if you're not familiar with this. But anyways, let's go ahead and play through this first line. We already know how to play this, we're just repeating it. And then we'll pull up the next line, measures 5 through 8. So instead of playing the first optional ending that we learned the first time through, we're going to skip measure 7 and 8, and let's pull up the next part here. You see we've got measures 9 through 12 on the screen, but measures 9 and 10, that's the second alternate ending right here, and that's what we're going to play this time through. So here we go, measures 9 and 10. It's actually very straightforward here. Measure 9. One and 2, 3 and 4. Then measure 10, we'll just do the pick, strum over the A minor chord. So at this point, we've reached the end of the A part. So now we're going to begin the B part right here in measure 11. So let's learn measures 11 and 12. That's what it sounds like. One thing I did want to point out, right here at the beginning of the B part, the very first note in the B part, right there in the 4th string, 2nd fret, see it? That very first note, we're actually still holding down the A minor chord shape from the previous measure. Remember in measure 10 we did pick, strum, and here we go, the B part. So just pointing that out, it'll help you kind of figure out how to transition into the B part a little bit better. So that very first note is part of the A minor chord, and then the next note is also part of the A minor chord. So we're still holding down the A minor chord, its first 2 notes in the B part. Pick, but then for that very next note, the 3rd note, we're going to lift up the A minor and use our pointer. So A minor, pointer, that makes sense. because you'll need to be a little bit farther up the neck to finish that out there. So A minor, dun, dun. All right, let's play that one more time. Measures 11 and 12. So pause if you want to work on that. But now let's move on to measures 13 through 16. Sounds like this. All right, let's break this down one measure at a time. Let's learn measure 13. Measure 13 is all eighth notes, and we're basically using our pointer and our ring fingers here. Measure 13, just those two fingers, pointer and ring. So one more time, measure 13. When you got that down, let's add on measure 14. Pretty straightforward, measure 14. Ring, pointer, open, pointer. So if we combine this here, measures 13 and 14, we go like this. And then here we go, measure 15. We'll do open, ring. We've got a couple of half notes right there. And a half note, that just means each note's going to ring out for 2 counts in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I use my ring finger there. So that's measure 15. Dun, dun. Measure 16. Dun, 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 dun. Pretty straightforward there. All right. So just pause the video if you want to work on this line at all. We're going to kind of play everything over again so you can get a better feel for it here in 1 second. But now let's move on to the next line, and let's go ahead and finish up this B part here. Next line, we got measures 17 through 20. And you notice on the screen, we got the first alternate ending and the second alternate ending for the B part. So this first time through this B part, we're just going to play the first alternate ending, measures 17 and 18. And then you see the repeat sign, which will tell us to go back to the beginning of the B part, play that B part melody over again. But then second time through here, in 1 second, we'll skip that first ending and then just play the second ending. So anyways, let's just learn this first ending on the screen, measures 17 and 18. So you probably already noticed that we used this ending earlier in the song already in the A part. So we don't really have to break it down too much. Remember this one here, measure 17 and 18. Pick, strum. So that's the first alternate ending for this B part. So now we get to that double bar line with the 2 dots. That's the repeat sign, so we're going to go back to the beginning of the B part right here, starting in measure 11, and we'll just play through the B part one more time. So here we go, measure 11, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next line, measure 13. Measure 15. And then pull up the next line. We're going to skip that first alternate ending, and we're going to play the second ending right here. Measure 19. Starting measure 19. So let's learn measure 19. It's a little different than what we've played up to this point. Measure 19, we got a little hammer on. From our pointer, hammering down to our middle. So hammer, pick. That's measure 19. Nice bluesy sound. Hammer, pick. Dun, 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 dun. I use my ring finger for that last section there. It's all ring finger. And then measure 20. Just pick, strum, pick, strum. So that's how you play the entire low-pitched arrangement for A Cold Frosty Morning. And you see there that we basically just repeat a lot of the same melodies, but then we change it up at the end by using some different alternate endings for the A part and the B part. So anyways, at this point, let's go back to the very beginning of this low-pitched arrangement. And I'm going to play through the entire arrangement for you, and you can practice along here or just take a good listen and get a better feel for it. We're starting out here in measure 1. And I'll count us in 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how you play the lower pitched arrangement for A Cold Frosty Morning. Next, we're going to work on the higher pitched arrangement here, the one that travels up the neck of your guitar a little bit. So if you're ready, you can go on over to the next portion of this lesson and learn the higher pitched arrangement. And also, we're going to have a backing track here at countryguitaronline.com that you can use to practice Cold Frosty Morning.